Hello everyone. So I teased about this a while ago on my streams and on Twitter that I was working on a project to recreate one of my favourite Resident Evil pistols, one that sadly you can't seem to find in Airsoft. So I thought to myself, well, you know what, we made a Res Evil 7 pistol with a 3D printed kit. You know, what's the possibilities of recreating the STI Eagle 6.0? So, as you'll see on screen, that is the STI Eagle as seen in the game Resident Evil 3. You know, a little bit of a better picture of it for you there. Now, you know, it doesn't look good. Obviously, that's from a PlayStation when the Res Evil 3 came out. So, if we just work a bit of flood tech magic, and because as there's the high definition image. So, as you can see there, the pistol has got a little bit more quality than its previous version. And basically, it's modelled after a Hi-Capa pistol. So for those in Airsoft, a lot of us already know what a Hi-Capa pistol is. So I had an idea to try and recreate it. So I set off on a mission, and I'm just going to play a quick little video that I made during it. That's just going to show some of the parts that I used to make it. And then I'm just going to talk through the process of what I did to actually make the video.
So here's the parts that I'll be using to recreate the STI Eagle 6.0. So what we've got is a Hi-Capa IREX. So it was the best Hi-Capa I could find that had the right barrel length and a similar enough slide to the original. We'll have to do something about the engravings, but whether I fill it in and paint it over or just paint it over, we'll see. We've got the scope, we've got the STI grip that will need to be swapped over, and then what I'm currently working on, which is still work in progress, is a 3D printed rail mount for the scope, which will go on there, and then they'll all go together. Now, depending how ambitious I am, I've even attempted to print off some of the lettering, 3D printed the Eagle 6.0 logo. One of the O's decided to yeet off into the nether, and I've not been able to find it since, so I'll have to reprint that. And in theory, I'll hopefully be able to stick into here and basically to recreate the actual look of the slide. The only thing to do next is finish the model for the 3D printed rail. This will need to be painted purple, which it's already been primed using basically a car body spray primer to make sure the paint hopefully sticks to it, and then some scope mounts for the scope.
So I had all the parts, I had all the ideas in my head, and then it was actually putting it together. So the first thing I did was the simple stuff, which was a bit of painting. So the picture you'll see on the screen now, that was the slide before the paint. So basically, I didn't want to commit to painting it properly, so I just did it with some acrylic. So it was a little rough, as you can see on the next picture here, and that was just simply to get the colour, because the good thing is acrylic comes off easy. I think I even say that later on in the video, and basically I can then spray it up properly later. I was having trouble filling in the actual grooving and trying to make it look good, so at the moment I haven't gone down that route. I've just left that. And then the next picture you'll see, this is just simply spraying it up. So it took me a while to find a purple colour that was the right colour for the actual handle, and oh my god, it was painful. So after priming it, after painting it, and then after putting a few coats of lacquer on it, it finally turned out to a much better colour. And then the next fun part was dismantling the Hi-Capa base and swapping over the trigger and the housing unit from the grip of the original Hi-Capa into the next one, which you can see on screen now. And basically it actually looked good. So assembled all together, that's what it looks like so far. Then came the fun part, and this is the fun part now, because I'm gonna have to try and edit this in correctly. Well, hey, here I am, see? So there's a preview of something. We've skipped there. So I had the challenge of creating the scope mount. So it took me quite a while using a 3D printer to get it right. This is actually version 4. I went through several versions of these, and I actually ended up with 2 versions of the version 4. So technically it's a version 4 and a version 5, if you want to say. But the amount of failed prints I had was a nightmare, because the hard part was trying to get something that would slide onto the Hi-Capa's rail, mimicking the design of the STI Eagle 3, which you'll just quickly see on screen now as a comparison, and make it look good. So this particular design was designed in 2 parts, so that you can see this piece here. In fact, if I manipulate it, you can see it basically slots in to there. And the idea was, by having it in 2 pieces, I'd glue it to one side of the frame. So say it was glued there, and then when I clamp it together with the scope mounts on, it would actually pull the frame together, gripping the slide more. And the idea was that hopefully it would grip the side of the pistol hard enough that I wouldn't need to bother with any screws underneath trying to lock it in place or not. I also did a version without a rail on, that I could potentially stick my own rail on depending on how straight that was. Because you've got to bear in mind, I was building all this from scratch, and the hard part from this was trying to make sure this is perfectly level with the rest of the pistol. So once the scope's on, it's level and centered on the actual pistol. I got very fecking lucky is all I'm going to say, because it worked. But I then did another one, which was this version here. So these were solid versions, so no faffing around with parts, just one solid piece, slide on, hopefully tight enough, and potentially put a screw through here that goes in between one of the slide rails, the rail slides. English is hard when you're doing this, to hold it in place. So that was the other version I designed, and once again I designed one with a rail, hoping it was perfectly level and centered with the rest of the gun, and then one that I could put one on afterwards if it weren't, because I had no idea which of these were going to work. Bear in mind, when I've done this, like I say, I must have printed about, when I went through all the old prints, 20 failed prints, bear in mind, of versions 1, 2 and 3, and sometimes multiple versions of each, until I finally got these. And when I finally got to these, and I'll just bring it up on screen now, these are the finished products. So I ended up with 3 versions I made, one with the rail on that was made of the clamp design, the other one which is a solid design, and then one that had the clamp design with no rail on in case the rail went wrong. And boy, it was fun. But whilst I was also doing the 3D printing, as you'll see, I talked about this, so I threw this together, found a nice little eagle that was close to the eagle off the actual original pistol. I made the lettering, as you can see from the measurements, I got the measurements to be the right width of the slide and everything, hoping I could stick them on. Unfortunately, it didn't work, because by the time I put it all together, the clearance, which I'll show you in a bit, between the slide and the rail, whilst it was wide enough technically, it was like a engineer's measurement precision, but when the slide is moving between, it was rubbing and it just didn't hold and work. But I did manage to repurpose them for this. So I've made a little stand for my pistol, so it'll hold 2 magazines for me, it'll hold the pistol on here, and then you've got the Eagle 6.0 here for the pistol when it's done, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, so that takes us to the final product now. So what happens when you put all those parts together with the right scope mounts, and this is what happens. So that is what the pistol looked like when I mounted it all completely. It was pretty cool. I did like it. It was even this one here, this shows the relief through the actual scope, and the good thing is, because the eye relief is so far on it, you can actually hold the pistol out and actually see through the scope, which is pretty cool, because you can't normally do that. And that takes you to another video just showing you the pistol all put together.
So here's the pistol painted and assembled. The engraving, I couldn't really fill that in, and actually I've not done a permanent paint job. This is just acrylic to cover the chrome slide for now. It's a little rough, but the good thing about acrylic is it's dead easy to remove, but at the moment it just kind of gives it the colour scheme I need for it. All that's needed next is the rail mount for that to be painted and the scope to be attached.
So confession time, it does seem some of the footage I had for when I came to edit in this video either wasn't there or corrupt, and I don't know what I've done with it. There's even a few pictures of whilst I was making it that have gone missing, which is a bit annoying. So I just thought for the last bit, because that last video only showed you the pistol painted and put together. I thought I'd just show you outright on stream. Well, on stream. I'm not streaming. This is a video for YouTube. I'm not streaming. It's because I stream. That's easy to make mistakes. But there it is. That is the Eagle 6.0. And to give you a little bit of a better view of it, here it is. So there it is. I'll throw up on screen what the original looks like. That's the Eagle 6.0, all done and dusted. And you know what? I'm dead happy with it. There are a few changes between this and the original. So there's a bit more clearance here between the actual top of the rail and where the scope goes to the original. And that's simply because I didn't just want this to be a showpiece for my Airsoft collection, you know, which it mainly is, but I also want to be able to use it, and I've actually tested this in game. I've actually upgraded the internals, and I'm not doing a video that's going to show you the dismantling, the upgrade process. Honestly, there's millions of upgrading videos on Hi-Capas and most Airsoft pistols on YouTube as it is. I didn't want to just make another one. This is just showing all the components and how to simply make or recreate one pistol into another. But yeah, basically I upgraded this with a Crazy Jet barrel. I don't know if the camera can pick it up there. So, Crazy Jet barrel, it's got the maple auto leaf hop up and booking inside there. So, honestly, that made such a difference in the range and accuracy from the stock version. So, by doing that, and then going back to my earlier point about the rise, I can actually still use the iron sights, as you can see there. And that's something I designed, because having a scope is cool, but if you want to quickly aim at a target, you're not going to beat your iron sights for just quickly aiming and shooting. And then if you want to go for that little sneaky sniper shot later, you've got the scope for that. But regarding the scope, and this is where I have to angle it correctly and hope I can get it lined up with the camera to actually, if I get my head out of the way, I might be able to. And of course, everything on the camera is reversed when I'm doing this, so this makes it very hard. Up, down, up, up. Oh, there we go. There you go. You can see Robocop's head. See it? So, yeah, it's pretty good. In fact, just for the purpose of editing, I'll try that again. There you go. You can see the top of my chair, just what you want to see. You can actually see the scope, he says, when he gets it lined up properly. There you go. There you go, see? So, as you can see, the eye relief on it is pretty good. So, when I'm actually aiming, I can have my hand out to at least there. And I can still see through the scope, which is pretty cool. You know, most scopes you have to have up here to aim through. And we discovered a funny thing. It was one of the marshals at level 2. So, when I zeroed all this in, oh, and it was perfectly level and it was perfectly centered with the pistol, so that was perfect. But what we noticed is if we aimed with one eye, it was close. It was just, we got it zeroed in and it was just off to one side a little bit. But if we aimed with two eyes, and because that's you can do that, you know, anyone who shoots real guns will tell you you can aim with one eye closed or both eyes open, depending on the type of scope and sight and everything. But when we aimed with two eyes, it actually was bang on, like absolute bang on. It was perfect. So I was just like, you know what? It works. I can point. I can shoot people. I got some very cheeky shots with it. It surprised a few people when I'm using a pistol like a sniper, but I had a lot of fun with it. But yeah, so that is the Eagle 6.0. It would have been great if I could have got the lettering on the side. You know, I may repaint the slide at some point. You know, I wish I had the stand to show you. But unfortunately, the 3D print for the stand is proving problematic. I'm having issues with my 3D printer at the moment. It seems everything I print wants to warp and become a bit of a pain in the ass. But hey ho. But it's good. I'm dead happy with it. I think it's a pretty cool pistol to have in my collection. So I've now got the Res Evil 7, which I made. I've got this one. I've got my other Res Evil pistols. You know, I'm feeling quite content. But I suppose that's just where I'll have to wrap this video up. So, and just say thank you very much, everyone, for watching. If you do have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. I'll do my best I can to answer them. I'm currently working on another project. Can't tell you when it's going to come out because honestly, it depends how long it takes me to get it working. But I will give you a quick sneak peek of it. And here it is. The Aliens Pulse Rifle Airsoft version. And I'm currently doing a bit of a project with this, which involves a lot of work and 3D printed parts and everything. And if I ever get it finished, because I've been doing it on and off for a year now because I struggle for time sometimes, I'll eventually do a video, and that'll probably be the next Airsoft like how-to video you'll get off me in the future. But that is it for this video. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to hit that like button. It all helps the channel. And if you want to see more of my Airsoft and gaming content, please feel free to subscribe. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it's absolutely priceless to me. And please, in the comments, tell me what you think of the pistol. Tell me what you think of the other Airsoft pistols I've done so far. You know, so far I've done a master key for a shotgun that I've modified and built to put under an M4 rifle. I've done the Res Eagle 7 pistol, and I've just done the Eagle 6.0. So that is it. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.